Welcome back everybody to another episode of Starfleet Command Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I'm Tirak, and let's sort of recap where we are at this point. The Klingon push from a couple episodes ago up here has been fully repulsed. We've recaptured the planet that we're currently sitting on top of, and we're making major headway here along this central front. The battle cruiser USS Patton has been involved in quite a few fleet operations so far, and really kicking some major butt. So let's keep this pain train moving and see if we can't cut through the Klingon space and maybe meet up with the Hydrants. They're our allies in this war, so we should be, once we can finally make contact with them, their ships will help our ships to really finish this war out. So, let's get to work. Ooh, there's dreadnoughts around here. A lot of dreadnoughts. Looks like the entire Federation decided to help out with this push. And we're going to ambush the enemy because convoy escorting is a little boring and a little bit of a toss-up. I'm not a huge fan of having to rely on the survival of other ships to determine whether or not I win at something. So, patrol, or an ambush, is a much better option from my perspective. And it looks like we've managed to ambush an Orion carrier. We've seen how drastically effective fighters are. However, I'm not quite convinced that this carrier is going to be as much of a threat as the one we were flying. Not because, you know, Federation technology is better, though it is, but more because we're a battle cruiser, not a light cruiser, or even a heavy cruiser. So we've got two hard points of the, I think that's a Type A AMD. Should deal pretty well with them. And if not, we can always fire, you know, photon torpedoes at these guys. It's fusion armed. How nice. Wow, look at that. That was effective. Okay, not gonna lie. That was kind of impressive. And the real interesting thing is that actually caused enough damage to shut my photons off. But more importantly, the thing that I actually was going to say is the point defense system on the phasers caused them to automatically fire at the fighters, which burned them all up, which means I had nothing to shoot at this guy. Clever. I'm not happy when they're clever. Unless we've lost our frontal shield and he's sitting pretty much pretty. USS Delta getting into the action, launching his own fighters. He's still a ways off. Interesting. I wouldn't have done that. Not with a couple of hawks bearing down on the area. But we also got a high energy turn. I want to get these photon torpedoes on target. I'm not going to do it before we hit the rear-facing shield, but taking off, you know, that much of someone's shields is pretty nice. We've almost got him pretty much reduced down to half shields. To be fair, he's also doing a great job of reducing our shields. And that was it. Yep, it's nice when you can just sort of bully the enemy out of the way. We did take a little more damage than I wanted. I was kind of hoping to just immediately start heading into Klingon held space. Unfortunately, we've got to do a quick patch job. So back here, supply, patch up the photon torpedoes because real quick there, spare part there, and we're done. I want to get stuck into it. We're going to go out here. And we're going to accept this base assault. So base assault works kind of like planetary assault. Except we're actually trying to kill it. A Lyran starbase. Don't know how that happened. I guess just the random mission generator. But the Lyrans are the mortal enemy of the Merak, the kitty cat people, back from episode 1. They use a very interesting weapon called an expanding sphere generator. Hello, the Oscar. This is a Hydran ship. We'll talk about the Lyrans in a bit. But the Hydrans are a small former subject of the Klingon Empire who managed to kick them out of their space and regain independence. They're a feudal society, so knights and paladins and all sorts of stuff. And most interestingly, they have trisymmetry. 3 arms, 3 legs, 3 eyes, 3 everything, you name it. They are the masters of fusion beam technology and hellbores, although it looks like this one is probably a dedicated carrier. The Hydrons are like huge into carriers. We're into carriers, but the Hydrons just take it to a whole nother level. With practically every single ship they've got can carry fighters. It could be a super light escort too, I suppose. The Hydrons also invented the phaser G, so most of their ships will have it, as opposed to pretty much every other race, which isn't quite that lucky. Yeah, CAV, that'll be a carrier of some sort. So at some point, hopefully, unless, you know, he's super low on fighters because he's been out forever, which he might have been because he does have a little bit of damage. If that's the case, then he's practically worthless. But as I was saying, the Lyrans, they're like, I almost want to say they're dog people, but they're not really. Oh, it's a Mauler. Huh, that'll be interesting. But they're the mortal enemies of the Marak, and they use a weapon called an expanding sphere generator, which gives them a protective bubble all around their ship. It's really quite cool. Very effective at stopping drones and enemy fighters, but I don't think... that Mauler hit. Yeah, Maulers are... they're just so nice. In terms of just heavy weapons. You won't ever really see them on a balanced ship, because, you know, when basically the entire ship is built around a weapon, and that's basically what a Mauler is. Yeah. Like, we would never get a Mauler. I'm not sure if the Federation has Maulers at all. I kind of want to say we don't. I've never seen one in Federation colors. But I could be wrong. I do know that the Klingons use them, the Romulans use them a little bit. Yeah, Hydron have the best fighters in the galaxy. Federation fighters are nice, but Hydron fighters just a whole nother level. So, let's check this battle station. This does not look like a Lyran battle station. I'm gonna say someone lied to me. Gigantic Klingon symbols all over the thing. She's got shields, as we kind of expected. Most battle stations will. Most of these sector stations will. Asteroid bases, not so much. White shields all around. Okay, yep. Huh. This is interesting. So, she has 6 phaser 4s, which are kind of dangerous. A single drone launcher, 1 anti-missile defense system, a whole bunch of phaser 3s, so that anti-missile defense system is well backed up. And only 2 disruptors. Those fighters could actually probably be pretty useful against it. The AMD, there's only 1 of them. It does have 6 of these phaser 3s, but I don't know. That would be an interesting thing to test. So we're going to load up a scatter pack, just to sort of give us some additional saturation fire. But what we're probably going to end up doing is something kind of similar to what we did during the planetary assault, except at longer range. We're going to set up at probably a range of about 15 to 20. We're going to see how much damage we kind of take and where it comes from, but we'll set it at a range of about 15 to 20 and just start shelling him with photon torpedoes. Set him in proximity mode. It'll be slow. Not the most exciting thing in the world, but it'll be effective, especially if his phaser 4s aren't really capable of punching through our frontal shield. We will be in disruptor range, which optimal disruptor range is something like 20, 25, where it's 67% accurate. Disruptors are actually accurate at 50% out to a range of 30. And their max accuracy, they get at range 2, where it goes to like 87%. So between range 2 and range 20 or 25, they're 67% accurate, so you may as well fire them at maximum range. Scatter pack's all set and ready. We can't control a huge number of missiles, so it may not be the most useful thing ever. But it will help those. We're at range 30, so we will support this fighter push. Oh, are we out of missile? No, they're there. I couldn't see two of them. I was wondering. And now we're starting to get close. I know I said I wanted to stop at a longer range, but if he's going to waste his weapons on the fighters, then we can definitely get closer. Yeah, you see those phaser fours are just really effective. Wow. I would not have expected that result. Launch. Let's crunch down this shield. Whoops. Just before they hit, we lost control of the missiles. How's our shields doing? Pretty good. And let's see, hit and run. Oh, capture, 22. So, we are afraid of all these phaser fours. I'm going to slow down a bit, and I'm going to pump up our starboard shields. The more shields you reinforce, the less effective it is. So if you're only reinforcing one shield, I think the ratio is 1-to-1. 1 point of power gives you 1 point of shields. And I know the ratio gets much worse the more shields you do. And it's not like just it's divided by the number of shields. I think it's something to do with roots and squares and crazy stuff. I could be wrong. That sort of mechanical level of the game, I'm not 100% on. But I don't think I am. I do think that it's a pretty major drop-off the more shields you start trying to reinforce. So here we go. We're going to turn it. Did we lose? Oh, no, there he is. I was a little worried there. So we're going to flow out a little bit, and then flow in a little bit. We want to get these photon torpedoes on target, preferably before that big green shield comes up. The reason we're flowing out, we don't want to be within range of 2 when we do this. Although, I may accept that anyway. Come on. There you go. Because if we're within a range of 2, we get splashback damage. We don't want that. And there we go. Starbase destroyed. So, that should take out the Starbase in this sector, which will really help sort of push them back. And yeah, it's gone. So this sector has gone colorless. And we're really making good inroads here now. I kind of would just hang in this sector to recapture it, but I know I gotta move. Oh, and the mission. We're at full health. Yeah, we can accept another base assault. The more bases we kill, the less places they have to rearm and repair. Now it's telling me it's a Mirak starbase, and the Miraks are our friends. Another heavy cruiser. We are all on our lonesome this time, so we don't get to rely on the awesome Hydran fighters. So what are you? It would be nice if we got lucky and it was another Mauler, but I don't think we will be that lucky. Just want to double check, so we're moving into this corner. Upper right hand corner will be where that base is. And let's send out a probe. Take this moment, buff the forward shields, and prep a scatter pack. So we know he has shields. Closing. So he looks like he's a pretty standard heavy cruiser, at least for the Klingons. He actually does have a fairly nice phaser armament, although these 4 phaser 2s just really kind of limit how much damage he can deal to us. 2 missile launchers, that's real common on pretty much every Klingon design at this point. They use drones more than us, not a whole ton more, but noticeably. And his 4 disruptors, which will be accurate at range 30. So, closing, range 43, keep on that. And he's maintaining speed at 21. I don't think that's going to affect his charge rates. I mean, he is a heavy cruiser. That just bounced off our reinforcement, which is good. Now he can fire those disruptors every turn, which not so great. We get only we have to fire our photon torpedoes at half that rate. Scatter pack's ready, and I'm gonna ready another one. Are you gonna turn in, or? That was interesting. Why would you? I don't think his captain thought that through. And another Klingon Starbase. Already shooting at us. Klingons are definitely more maneuverable than us, but he did take one heck of a frontal hit. We've already knocked out a couple of his forward weapons. It also looks like we did a pretty big number on his energy. I mean, he's dropped down to a speed of 9 from 21. I don't think that's just purely because he wants to recharge. I'm going to drop speed a little bit too. And I'm going to open up another of your frontal shields. Oh! That was a little bit more clever of him. Got to turn this weak side away. And I also want to lay into him with that phaser one I've got. There we go. Have we lost anything? Not yet. Okay. Pull away, give some range, and scatter pack. Can't turn that way because we have a giant opening. I really do want to keep this forward shield intact for when we siege the Starbase. I'm kind of guessing he's going to weasel this. Oh, he might not. Looks like he didn't need to. But we've got a second one ready just for that occasion. Is he trying to get away? Once again, taking another forward shield, which is being reinforced. Considerably reinforced. So we ideally want to drop a scatter pack from a position where he's flying into it. That'll give him the least amount of time to sort of prepare for it. So let's trash another frontal shield like that. Oh crap, wrong angle of disengagement. And we took some hits. We actually took some hits to our core. Scatter pack. Looks like his scatter pack's on the reload. I'm gonna speed up just a little bit. Slow back down because we don't need to be fast. I'm waiting for his wild weasel. Or he could just have a ton of tractor beams. Yeah, that'll work too. But now we're gonna just keep chunking down parts of his shield. Took that on the nose. Probably not the best decision. But as long as that frontal shield stays up, it really doesn't matter all that much. So he's sitting there with a bunch of missiles just kind of sitting on top of him. We'll deactivate that. Okay. So that's him dealt with. Now we gotta go deal with his Starbase buddies, and this is gonna be the slow siege that I promised from the last mission, because no Hydrons to sort of do all our heavy lifting for us. Also, our shields are in much worse state than they were in the last battle, partly because, you know, he was a mauler in the last battle. And maulers can only attack pretty much once, and then they're done. Heavy cruisers will last a much longer time. You may have noticed my power came back without having to actually spend the repair time. That's because of the redundant repair teams and the engineering, and something to do with labs. there's a chance to regain certain amounts of power over time, especially if it's small amounts of damage. There we are. Hello, Starbase. What do you got? Tell me your secrets. That's a different kind of base from the one before. And it does look like it's got a lot more phaser cores, or maybe that's just me. Okay. That's a starbase. Yeah, we're gonna sit at range 20 and do this, or yeah, range 20. Sit at range 20. We're gonna stop the ship, and then we're just gonna lob photon torpedoes. I'm wondering if we should use ECM against these disruptors. If we get too close, that's 8 missiles that he can launch at us. He's got 3 Type B point defense systems. I don't know the difference between the types, but I would assume Type B is good. And if not, he's got a lot of them anyway. Starting to take some hits. So let's keep an eye on this reinforced panel, just to see how much damage he's actually dealing to us. If all goes well, it won't be that much. But you know, this is us we're talking about. When does things always go well? And we've been having a run of good luck lately too. So, he's not particularly accurate at this range with those phaser 4s, but he doesn't have an option of any other weapon. So, but once we cross range 30, then he'll start being able to fire disruptors at us too. It's just so much firepower. I don't want to back off from this. I do want to try and make this work. I'm just entirely sure how effective we're going to be. So I will consult my handy-dandy manual of armaments. Which, by the way, the manual for this game is huge and fantastic. I'm talking about the original manual for Empire at War. The Orion Pirates manual is much shorter. So we are going to look for photon torpedoes. Here come the missiles. I wonder if we can actually hit us with those. Missile rack. Plasma. I think we're in the right neighborhood. There's a lot of weapons in this game. So, we should be able to handle that. So we're going to head slow, because I kind of want to get in a little bit closer. But I don't want to go too quickly, because I want to sort of figure out how close I can get before I need to start worrying. Here come the drones. Laser one should have no problem with this at all. Yeah, we have a pretty effective point defense system. Okay, photon torpedo accuracy. We need to get to range 12 to be 33% accurate with normal. With proximities, range within 30, we are 50% accurate. So yeah, we're going to stop here. We're going to set photon torpedoes, set up proximity, and cue the music. So we're just going to briefly go over here. And he's now shoving every missile that he can at us. I'm kind of hoping that he runs out of missiles before I run out of AMDs. Because things could get ugly if not. Oh, I think I'm out of AMD, actually, already. Yep, we're out. And we're gonna fire ton torpedoes. Probe. I don't think we're doing any damage to him. We may not be able to damage him. We may have bitten off more than we can chew. Because I gotta figure he's doing the exact same reinforcement trick that we are. I'm going to do one more photon torpedo volley, and if I don't see any damage on it, we're going to call that. Yeah, we're not going to hurt him. Double check the map. That's really disappointing. I really thought we would have enough firepower. Although we are starting to get deeper into Klingon space. This is not a border outpost. This is an actual sector command post. So I suppose it does make a certain amount of sense that it would be much better defended. A little disappointing. And we're gone. And we'll change this. Oh. We got nothing. Really? Didn't even get anything for killing that defender. Now we are damaged, but it's a surprise reversed. We're damaged, we don't have any missiles, but we have a chance of jumping a heavy cruiser. That's an opportunity you just shouldn't give up. And the game is running too fast. Don't want to make it do that, because we would not do well if we were trying to play this game at maximum speed. Klingon ships are powering up. Heavy cruiser, frigate, 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 frigate. So this is the one. This is the bad boy who must die. We could probably take all 5 frigates if they were active. And looks like we got some free reloads. I believe you go into battle with 4 reloads. Or 2 reloads, something like that, for free. And so if we don't ever make it back to a starbase, we just keep remanufacturing them. Although we are going to the battle with 1 less phaser. You know, however important that is to you. Reinforce. Give that frontal shield a nice pop. And, ooh, yeah, this is, I think this is a Katinga with its, multi-directional firing. Gotta close in nice and close. So one thing that kind of bugs me is their point defense system is active. It's like, really? Are you sure? So now we gotta circle around, come at him again. Because it is that important. 81 damage on that Alpha Strike, plus 24 when one of the drones made it through.
Scatterpack standing by.
And Scatterpack go, because it's very important to kill. Very important to kill heavy cruisers before they can power up. One, two, and then he fired all his others. Swooping in on this again, gonna give him a nice phaser barrage. We shot the AMD off. There, okay, good. Next most dangerous is you, because these are all little tiny ones. He's also fairly small, but a little less. Goes in nice and tight. Get ready with photon torpedoes. Armed and ready. We'll fire at a range of just under 3. It's like every Klingon ship. Do I want to keep laying into him? Is there any point to it? On the bright side, that'll probably mean that these guys will die pretty quick. E4, E3, G2. I was really kind of hoping that he wouldn't have anti-missile defenses. I was wrong. He's also probably the next most dangerous. But I am in a position to roll you... Oh, no, we'll save it, because photon torpedoes should be ready by the time I'm ready to swoop in on him. What are you, anyway? Yeah, at this point in the war, it seems like pretty much every Klingon ship has anti-missile defense systems. Which is a good thing to have. I mean, considering how many drones we've used to really kind of wreck somebody's day. That didn't kill him. He took everything we had from the front and it didn't just blow him to pieces. Not gonna lie, a little disappointing. Destroyer just came active, and it is that one. Not concerned. We'll ignore him and then him. Yeah, we'll ignore him until we've got to fight him, because he's only crawling around with a couple of missile launchers. Another one down. Ooh, we're in the era of fast missiles. Fast missiles are purple. They travel at a speed, I want to say they're 34. I didn't check to see what speed his missiles were firing at. So I'm not 100% sure on that. What is the arc of that forward? Yeah, it is. So just you left, you turned on in time. He's aggressive too. Gotta give him credit for spirit. I mean, he's not gonna help him, but, you know, credit for spirit. What would it be like to try this mission with a whole bunch of commando transports? Just try and board and take everything? I think it'd probably be effective. I used to like flying this little guy all the time. This is actually one of the classes that is in the normal game. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, pretending it's like a fighter. Because it's only got 2 missile launchers and some pretty crap phasers. There we go. So, heavy cruiser, and what was it, 4 frigates? So not bad. Not bad as a consolation prize for not managing to kill that starbase. Oh, 300 prestige, pretty decent. That puts us at 2304. We do need to go home, rearm, repair, get set for the next. We'll just do one quick check through the shipyard, see what's on available. Heavy dreadnoughts have come on the line. I think these were available in the last episode too. 6 photon torpedoes, 6 missile racks, 14 phasers. That's pretty decent loadout. It's 2278. So yeah, they're 3 years old at this point. This is the current date, and then if you look up here, you see the date that's introduced, and that's sort of dictating what ships start showing up in the war. PT3 is a trader. A lot of little traders and stuff. You can buy base stations too. So if we wanted to buy our own starbase, and what happened then is we would then move to a sector that did not have a starbase, and we would get a sort of like a build starbase mission, and we would have to defend our freighters against the enemy. And if we successfully did that, none of the freighters blew up, a starbase would be put there. We may end up doing that if we keep pushing deeper into the line, but for now, that's thinking too far ahead. And also, it makes kind of more sense from our perspective to just keep trying to take planets, because they do the same thing, and we don't have to spend money on it. This is a battleship carrier, BBV. This would be nice, but it's also way outside of price range. Although, you know, 12 fighters. Or was it 16? It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything really sort of in our 2500 price range right now. Well, 23. Another BCG would just be another Kirov class. So we're going to hang on to that for now. But this is a good place to end the episode. Successful surprise reverse to make up for that unsuccessful base assault and a successful base assault. So I've been Tarek. If you like what we're doing here, hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.